Greetings, Goddess Body, Mind, Spirit community. This is Tara Milade, your Goddess Guru, your sister friend. And you know, I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the Goddess centered lifestyle. It's all about the sisters walking in their power, living the lives that they know they deserve and want for themselves. We're here to bring back the feminine and live her out and through ourselves in a mighty, mighty powerful way. Welcome to the Inspired Goddess Morning Circle. I am so excited to be here. And yeah, let's do this, Queens. But you know, I'm always going to turn it up. I'm always going to turn it up. So let's turn it up, Queens. Tell you what, Mercury retrograde is over, baby. Oh my gosh. 2022, a year to remember, even the part of it that is still here in 2023. How y'all doing out there, goddesses? Welcome. Do you have your morning beverage? I brought in my cup that says, be the one who's brave enough to go after her dreams. Are you going after your dreams? Let's do this, goddesses. Alrighty. I'm excited to see the G Hive in the house. Good morning, Devi. Wealth Rising, Kita May. Peace, G Hive. How are you, Queen? Oshun Kimmy. Hello, Larissa. Good morning. Welcome, Queen. Oh my gosh, Mystic Storm in the house. How are you, Queen? Along with Cora. Let me make sure I didn't miss nobody. Yeah. Hi, Cora. How are you, Queen? Welcome, Goddess. Thank you all so much for being here. Do I sound okay? You know, I'm all paranoid now. I've got my earbuds in. Yeah. So I wanted to, I almost didn't come on this morning, y'all, because I am preparing for the the Aquarius New Moon Retreat. And also I'm working on a certification to do prosperity healing. And yeah, still just kind of have a lot of personal stuff happening. And I don't know. I don't know if it's the eclipses. I don't know if it's what in my chart. I do have Neptune on my IC. The IC is the part that has to do with home and family. Let me just check. Yeah, this is looking okay. Let me turn this down just a little bit. The IC is the part of the chart. Oh, let me see what y'all said about how I sound. Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, I'm live today. You were right to wonder because I didn't tell y'all anything. So I need to do right by y'all like that. But the IC is the part of the chart that has to do with home, family, and emotions. And actually, right now, I have Neptune, if I remember correctly, on my IC. Let's see here. Where is old Neptune? But anywho, I don't know. It's like I know that the eclipses are doing a deep cleanse. If you Scorpio rising, maybe you have a lot of planets in Scorpio. You having a deep cleanse and a deep, deep purge right now. Yeah, I have Neptune on my I'm glad I'm talking about it because it has been confusing me. Why am I just like an emotional basket case right now? So, when your emotions are off, you have to find ways to keep yourself regulated. But that's in the midst of being emotional, you may not do that. And I haven't been doing it. So I gotta be more proactive when I feel normal. But yeah, so I was slow coming on. But also, I'm preparing for quite a bit. Like I said, we have the New Moon Retreat in Aquarius. I'm super excited about it. I've got everything organized last night, and I'm super excited about y'all coming into my special cave of to love on and take care of your creatrix. What it's all about. This particular circle is all about going into the womb of the cave and giving your inner creatrix a little bit of a time out and figuring out how am I going to keep her, moving forward and getting all these downloads of Aquarius so that, we're able to move forward in a way where, there's going to be the ebbs and the flows. We've talked about that. There's going to be the ebbs and the flows, but, we should be more like 2 steps forward, 1 step back instead of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like I have always said, I want us to end the year knowing that we made progress, right? And part of the way we do that is we keep up with what write down what you said you were going to manifest. You'll be surprised if you write it down how much more I mean, how much you see, my gosh, I really did this. Like, I did so much more than I thought. But also, when you do things like come into a retreat and take this time to really put structures in place in your life to keep the parts of yourself that keep you moving and going, um, you're at the end of the year, you'll look back and say, okay, at the new moon, I did this, and this is how this energy came with me through the year. Because that's really how it's supposed to work. I want us to not compartmentalize new moon in Aquarius to January or February. That is not how it works. New moon in Aquarius has effect for a year. It has effect for, you know, 2 weeks also. And it has effect for 6 months. So we wanna be on that Aquarius continuum or whatever the new moon is, okay? But it does take, putting things in place to make sure we can see we are actually progressing. So I hope that you all join me. I moved the retreat on here. It'll say the 21st, but it's the 19th. It's going to be Thursday, the 19th. Thank y'all for letting me know. Thursday is a good day for the retreat. So it's been switched from Saturday to Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Is there anything else that I want to talk to y'all about? Oh, I need to do a better job of talking about my freebies. I know I've had this freebie for a while, but I still have people signing up for it. It's the Goddess Mini Toolkit. If you have not, everything is in the description box. You can go and get the Mini Goddess Toolkit. Um, and then this week I did where are we? Affirmations and astrology for your week. So I hope that you avail yourself to that resource also. Also, who checked out the anchoring video? Like I mentioned, things like this don't sound sexy. Like people love to hear, new moon wisdom, and they love to hear things like, this is what Mercury retrograde means, or here's what the goddess Oshun means. It's kind of like there are things that feel like, ooh, it just draws you in. But until you really know what NLP and hypnosis and the power of them in your lives are, you may not see something like anchoring. That's why I put how we attach to good and bad habits. Because the reason I put this video out is I want you to understand that you can change anything in your life, anything that you want. You can create that. Anything that you're struggling with, it's simply a program that has been set up by you, a strategy of some sort that has been set up by you, and it's just the way we're made. We're made to be able to, interestingly, thinking about Aquarius, attached to certain things. And that's what anchoring is about. Anchoring is essentially an attachment. Just think of an anchor. A ship will drop its anchor to keep it like right there, right? So we have anchors in us, and we have anchors that have us do things. Largely, life is all about how do we protect ourselves? How do we stay safe? Because the subconscious mind is about safety. And so, it doesn't matter if an anchor is one that has you doing something now in your life that you don't like, or it's something that you're doing a great job at. It doesn't really matter, but it's just that you need to understand that you have something in you that makes things get locked in. And it's through anchoring that we can either get rid of something or bring something new in. So that's what that video is about. And I need to just pause it because it's kind of sort of like on the topic of what I want to talk about today. Let me just make sure I speak to everybody. I know I saw. So, hi, yes. Hello, Queen Sharmika. Welcome. Hello, Mrs. Matthews. Welcome, Queen. Glad you are here. Hello to all the hashtag replay sisters. Okay, so today will be just a little bit different because I was kind of like, what am I going to talk about in the short time I'm going to be on here with you? Because I need to get into making the Through the Signs video, which also will be in the membership for those who are part of my membership, but it's a part of what I put in the New Moon Retreat goodie bag, is what I call it, the virtual goodie bag. So, you know, it's the more I am applying understanding NLP and understanding the subconscious mind and hypnosis, it starts to become glaring to me what a person has going on in their lives, just by listening to the way the person speaks. I'm gonna switch to mainly talking she since I deal with women, but it's interesting how when I listen to my sister friends talk, oftentimes I can and if you knew what I knew, you would hear it in my language also. But I can hear exactly where the limiting belief is. I can hear where they have or she has said something to herself and she now has a story and she believes it hook, line, and sinker. And what made me think about this is how I used to be so certain of certain things. And all of a sudden, one day, that certainty changes. All of a sudden, the thing that I'm certain about, I'm certain it's not true. Okay. So, what I want to talk about today. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Hold up. I like that. Let's backtrack. Do you have your cup of Shango? Okay, the sisters have it. Buenos dias, Paulette. How are you, Reina, La Reina? I told y'all the other day I took a Spanish class, and oh my gosh, this lady from Spain, she whipped my booty. She had me like, let me be respectful. She was like, yeah, basically, she didn't say it this way because she had to be professional, but basically she was like, y'all stop coming to class without studying outside. Y'all can't come here and learn Spanish just by coming to the live classes. You need to be in Babel studying taking your lessons before you come to class. I said, yes, ma'am. Okay. Anywho, so a quote that I love is the only meaning that something has is the meaning that we give it. I want to know what you think about that. The only meaning that something has is the meaning that we give it. I remember with the first time that was said to me back in 2020, I was like, hmm, that is very, very powerful. And I decided I wanted to start testing it. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think a lot of us have, and I put this in quotes, problems because of the meaning that we have attached to something. It kind of goes back to that anchoring. Meaning, and that's what we are. We're meaning making machines. We can make anything mean whatever we want. But where we go wrong or where we need to understand, this is what will take us down a path of where we're not happy. And I'm not saying where we go wrong, because if you don't know, you're not wrong, right? Even if you do know, it's just to be human is to create different meanings, and some feel good and some don't feel good, right? But once we understand this, then we have to ask ourselves, what meaning am I assigning to this thing? And the meaning that you assign to it is going to determine the direction or the action that you're going to take. All right. So let me see what y'all are saying. Good morning. How are you, Felicia? Welcome. Yes, I've been in a state of questioning and uncertainty. Oh, yeah. The Aquariuses are getting hit up. Yeah, Aquariuses are getting hit up for sure with these eclipses, but it's a good thing. Actually, I'll never forget when years ago at the beginning of this part of my spiritual journey, I heard Deepak Chopra say that is the known that is where the limitation is. It's the unknown. And I see uncertainty as unknown is really where the power is really where the opportunity is. Because certainty, and it really, yeah, like it brings up this notion of the meaning. Something that's known, it probably has some meaning to us. The unknown, it has no meaning because it's unknown, it's uncertain. But what meaning are you giving to uncertainty? And what meaning are you giving to questioning? See, these are the things that I want us to begin to do. And I have been going through questioning and uncertainty too. Um, but what I have made a decision to do is not trip about it. It's like, well, yeah, everybody's going to go through a time of questioning their lives and the decisions that they've made and the things that they say they believe in. It's part of the human experience. And when we can learn to just say, well, maybe I can just see where it's going to go. This is why I love mindfulness. Mindfulness is like no judgment of my questioning, no judgment of my uncertainty. We call them attitudes in mindfulness. Let me just be curious. I'm just going to be curious about this uncertainty and what I'm questioning. I can tell you, I don't really know what area of life it is, but I can speak in spirituality. I think it's not normal to not question. I think the more we just feel like I just know everything, I don't care what your religion is or how you roll. If we do not go through times where we're like, I need to question what I'm doing, we're never gonna grow. I've questioned my spirituality numerous times, numerous times. Um, and I'm always better for it. It's like I never put it down. I always have a deeper understanding of it, a deeper relationship. But maybe it's your career, I have questioned that. And it's important for us to question it because again, the known is like set. Uncertainty and the unknown, it's like it's like, outer space. It's a lot out there. And what many of us anchor to the known because it feels safe, which is no judgment. Because that to be human, I want y'all to understand the subconscious mind. Okay. I want you to understand the subconscious mind. The prime directive of the subconscious mind is to keep us alive, is to keep us safe. I'm going to tell y'all how I know this links to something that I learned years ago. I used to be a childbirth educator, the Leche League leader. I was like team mom. I was doing all the things to help the new moms. And I remember when I started understanding, there was this book called Our Babies Ourselves. And this book helped me to realize that babies are actually very intelligent. And I mentioned elimination communication. I'm gonna say it that way because that's what I did. It's also another thing called infant potty training. Very humane because I don't want y'all to be thinking there's any abuse going on because it's so foreign to people. It almost sounds like wrong. But again, it's an example of, moms have babies, moms go buy diapers. Well, in my world, maybe moms buy diapers, maybe they don't. Maybe moms, you know, buy a few cloth diapers and just decide they're going to be so in tune and just know when the baby needs to go, or maybe the baby pees in the diaper. I don't know. But anywho, when I was taking my son or doing the elimination communication with him, I began to realize I was like, these are really intelligent beings. And babies, they are designed to survive. Like no baby is like, I'm just gonna roll over and not, fight for my life. That baby will scream, that baby will cry, that baby will do all kinds of things to get attention so that it will survive. That baby doesn't consciously know what it's doing. It's imbued with this wisdom, and it is the wisdom of the subconscious mind, right? And it doesn't change just because we get older. It doesn't change. The subconscious mind is like, what can we do? And a lot of times we assign it to ego, but what happens is the subconscious mind just gets so enmeshed with the ego constructs, the things that we put in place, that it's like our ego is putting it in place, and they become one, and it's all about safety. And so whenever we begin to question our career, whenever we begin to question our relationships, whenever we begin to question anything that we have just been all in, it feels miserable. It feels dangerous, and it'll feel so much easier just to stay there in the comfort zone, right? But life is about expanding the comfort zone. And part of the way we expand the comfort zone is we have to remember the meaning that we are assigning to a thing. We have to understand we have assigned meaning to a thing. So, for instance, the meaning that I assigned to Wednesday morning is very important because I was going to not show up this morning. But I said no. I even went onto my YouTube page and put on the banner live every Wednesday at 9:15 Eastern. I don't put Eastern on there. Okay, I need to put Eastern on there. 9:15 a.m. And I was like, are you gonna have a YouTube channel or are you not gonna have a YouTube channel? And the meaning that I have assigned to going live every week and showing up is this is important. This is very, very important because I'm serious about what I'm doing. I did not always have this meaning. There was a different meaning I had when I first started my YouTube channel. But then I just want y'all to understand you have assigned meaning to everything. And when you accept that, then you can begin to say, well, I'm just going to change the way. It's called reframing. I'm going to change the way I see this thing. Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And this is why I love coaching. This is why I love, going into circles and different things like that, because it allows me the opportunity to see where am I a little bit locked in? Where do I need to kind of like loosen up this meaning? Okay. Let me see. Um, my father is Cuban and Spanish classes are still rough on a gal. I love hearing when Cubans speak Spanish. I love the different Spanish accents, and that's one of my favorites. Yay! Yes, Eileen, the channel members get a discount. Pretty much, I just give you back your $10. You don't have to. I'll knock that off. Yes. Mystic Storm, you already know. Look at you, Mystic Storm. Y'all remember, subscribe to. I know Mystic Storm has a YouTube channel. It's the one that she's here now, and Felicia Humphrey. She will be showing you all about food and gardening and all that kind of good stuff. And Mystic Storm is like me. She's spiritual and sharing spirituality, astrology, all that kind of good stuff. Perspective is everything. So let's just go on ahead and talk about what's something that you need to have a new perspective on. I want everybody to think about that. What is something that you need to have a new perspective on? Um, Y'all know I'm constantly creating new perspectives on my lifestyle. And it's interesting when we begin to go through life changes. I can really see why coaching is so needed and mentorship. When we start going through life changes, we will have the past and the way we showed up in the past so high up in our in our inner landscape, our model of reality, even though what we are seeing in our present reality is showing that what you used to do does not work. Okay, I'm talking my story. Right? I'm not making nothing up. This is not hypothetical, baby. This is me. When I started coming into perimenopause, it took years for me to say, I really need to accept. I am not who I used to be. And it's I really want us to get away from this notion of where you're old. No, hormonally, you're different. And where we mess up is not mess up. I need to be very cautious of my language. The error in thinking is that it's, my body is messing up on me, or, I'm getting old, and, I'm failing at, creating a life that brings health and vibrancy. I see this now. I was the one who did that. And then after a while, I began to say, no, because I did not have a lot of mentorship. I did have a little bit. I had one friend who talked to me about perimenopause and how she progressed through it or whatever. But I didn't realize until I got into, let me see, I started perimenopause probably around 43, 44. And once I got to about 47, 48 is when I was like, okay, I'm settled in. Whatever I did in my 30s or early 40s, that's over. Like that life is over. Um, and so I began to accept, okay, I have to eat according to my hormones. And I'm not talking just estrogen and progesterone. I'm talking things like insulin and uh, what was the other one? Insulin is a big one, but the other one was I had to really start paying attention to my liver health. And see, the other thing was I had myself fooled thinking I'm a really a healthy person when I had to learn so much about the body. Perimenopause was like, you getting ready to learn some new stuff. Okay. We getting ready to break your model of reality and what you think is true. And we're going to show you something new. So, it's so much about like the hormones. I learned so much about hormones as a result. There's a book called Woman Code. I think every woman should read it. Doesn't matter if she's, you know, especially once girls start their period, somebody maybe needs to give them the Cliff Notes version of it up to, my age, menopause. Um, so check that book out because that's the book that helped me to begin to realize like the beauty of estrogen is like estrogen helps you to break down carbs, and estrogen helps you to stay muscular and toned. And it's just a really beautiful hormone. And when you don't have it, then you have to begin to understand like your adrenals are going to be kicking in. And I'm not really sharing this to teach that to y'all. It's me just illustrating. I had to begin to realize I don't have estrogen like I used to. And so my body is using different hormones like cortisol and yeah, cortisol I think is a big one. I know it's using my adrenals, I'll put it that way. And and so I have to be careful. Less is more. I can't be doing crazy workouts and stuff. And it's like I got to be something different. And it took me years to really get that. And then once I was in a new place, I had a whole new way of thinking about it because I used to think, "Oh my gosh, it's like my life is just so hard. Why is my body like why does it feel like I'm not in control of my body?" Well, it was the meaning. I was stuck in the old. I had to bring myself into the new. And I had to create whole new meaning. Like it is beautiful to pretty much don't eat sugar. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, let me see what y'all saying because I feel like I'm kind of rambling. Yes. The only meaning that something has is the meaning that you give it. The only meaning that something has is the meaning that you give it. And so, sometimes we think, oh, this is bad. No, that's just your meaning of it. I gotta find that quote. Impermanence. Something I'm learning about. Okay. Tell me what you're learning, Shamika. I've been learning how to understand this world of polarity, and I came to the understanding that I give power to whatever it is. It's true. The power of being a creator. And I think that the power of being a creator and understanding that you are a creatrix in your life is it makes every creation beautiful. Every creation, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's like, oh wow. I used to laugh at myself when I first started kind of catching on to this years ago. I would say, I think I'm trying to go for the Oscar award winning actress. I want to be an Oscar award winning actress because I'm telling you, I'm all into this role, right? So it's all beautiful. That's how powerful we are. We come here, we create whatever we want. Choose your adventure. Choose your adventure. That is so Aquarius. Choose your adventure. Which adventure do you want? Now, Aquarius is about testing things. So let's just test it. Okay, I tested it. I tried it out and I don't like it. I'm done. This is why I love learning all these things because it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's what I can do. That's what Aquarius will help me to do. I'm just going to go on ahead and say an early happy Aquarius season. It's going to be on what Thursday. Oh yeah, the day of the retreat. So yeah, that's what's up. We'll be in Aquarius during that time. I'm assuming. Let me see here. What time does the sun? I'm so legalistic with these times. I'm like, no. When does the ephemeris say is Aquarius season? Yeah, early in the morning on the 20th. Okay, so that's exciting. That's really exciting. Um, but yeah, we have to learn to test things out. That's one thing in business that I began to hear right away. The newer entrepreneurs would say, "Well, should we do this or should we do that?" And all the more mature ones would say, "You got to test it. That's the only way you're gonna know is something gonna work. You test it." And I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just keep testing." But that's life, honestly. Everyone is, we've just been kind of sold this thing like, do this, do A, B, C, D, this linear way, and everything is gonna be good. Sometimes it does work, but sometimes it's like no, it was not A, B, C, D for me. It was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but it wasn't even straight. It was like this that I did it. Saturn and Aquarius. So you have had your Saturn return. That only adds to it. However, Saturn was Aquarius's former ruler. Some still think it is. Uranus is at the forefront, but Saturn is still quietly there. Yeah, it all depends on what you use, like what kind of astrology you use. The reason I choose the I call them traditional rulers is because Uranus, if I really want to know like how is my life going to shift, I want to look at a planet that moves fast or faster. Saturn doesn't move super fast, but it's going to be in and out of a sign. Like if I go by Pluto, because I'm a Scorpio rising, Pluto really doesn't do a whole lot. It's just going to hit a couple of points every year. It'll hit, degrees, I should say. It might hit one, two, well, maybe 3, 4 degrees, something like that. It doesn't hit a lot of degrees. It's been in Capricorn forever. And I just feel like it has relevance. I actually don't even use Pluto as one of my ruling planets at all. I use Mars. And maybe it's because of the meaning that I've assigned it. Let's just come back to, what we're talking about here. But I find that when I go with Mars, it matters more. Like I feel when Mars is retrograde, I feel when Mars is in a sign that it really likes versus Pluto, which has just been in one sign for year after year after year after year. It's kind of like you can't get ahead. And the astrologer that I have, I listen to and learn from, Victor, the outer planets are more generational. And I do find that to be true. Like Pluto, especially, it really is on point with we have Pluto and Virgo. Pluto in Sagittarius, Pluto in Libra, Pluto in Scorpio. And those generations really like I'm Pluto in Virgo, even though I was born in 70, I think it's like 70, 71, 72, something like that. It's only a few years of those of us born in the 70s that have Pluto in Virgo. And to me, we are like the health nut. We're the people that have started all the health nut crazes. And seriously, people with Pluto and Libra, it's a whole generation, Pluto in Libra. It seems like relationships are like the most, I mean, it's like amazing to see the Pluto and Libra, what they're experiencing. And then Pluto, that would be Pluto in Virgo and Pluto in Libra. We're all kind of like lumped in there as Gen X. And then there's that like lost Gen Y. Wait a minute, is it Gen X? Yeah. And then the Pluto in Scorpio, that's the millennials. See, I find that those outer planets, because they're so slow and there's, I mean, like so many people have these planets. It's kind of like, how do you make it super personal? And those outer planets, it makes it personal for a generation versus like the individual, though it does matter in the individual chart. I'm not meaning to talk about astrology, but I did want to just say that. So, okay, I'm with you, Miss. Oh, Mystic Storm. My Saturn is Aquarius too. So you are having a Saturn return. That's part of what's going on too. Your perception of things creates your reality. Yep, yep, yep. Mm. Got a lot of Aquarius energy on here. Yes, that is correct. Saturn moves into March. Pisces in March. Yeah, I don't mind sharing at all. I greatly questioned Ifa for a minute. Because my thing is, maybe it's the Virgo, Pluto and Virgo generation. Virgo is this energy that has to do with it's sciency, and it's very like it's like data driven. So I'm very data driven, super spiritual, but very data driven. And so I was kind of like, okay, initially it felt wonderful to be part of this tradition. Um, because, for me, it was like, okay, what did my ancestors do before they were captives on those slave ships brought over here and made to forget, their traditions or semi forget, because we know it's in the subconscious. And, but it's kind of like, okay, you know, why does it feel like the needle of my life is not moving? And why does it feel like, I've switched and it's not working? And so, I came into godparents who were very eclectic and were more like, we don't just do things just because. We do things because Spirit is telling us to do things. You have to listen to your inner guidance. Um, you know, their initial what they would say to us is we seek no followers, because they didn't want to be like prescribing stuff necessarily. Sometimes you do have to kind of prescribe, but it's really like I'm prescribing it, but it's really up to you to, make it work. Is how they are. And it's how I am. I love it. Um, so they didn't really like say things like you should do this on this day and that day and all the feast and stuff. Like I don't fit in EFI world because I don't know all of that terminology. It just never fully resonated because some of it is very much of like a cultural thing. But I still had, I had my elekes and I got my warriors and I got my pots and everything. And it's kind of like we go through all of that, and then you show back up at your house, and it's like, "Oh my god, it's still life to live." Like, everything that I left here is still waiting for me. So, sometimes it feels sort of like things aren't working, and, like, "Why the hell did I do all of this if it's not working?" But after a while, I just got my own way of working with the energy, and for me, everything is about wisdom. So, I really lean into the Odu. It's like, what wisdom do I get from Ifa? And so, and I, you know, don't all the time like saying it because it's almost like you can get in, people just get pissed off at you. But I just don't practice Ifa like everybody else does, and I'm just okay with it. I'm definitely an Ifa devotee. Um, like, if you were to be here, you would see I got it all set up. I can't wear my alekes, but I always keep my alekes close, you know? Let's see here. I have what else have I questioned? What did I question last year? Um, Last year, I think what I got to was I am doing all the spiritual work, but I feel like something is missing because things aren't changing. It's like I see things change, and that's why I said it's so important to write down, keep a record of where you are because you'll think things haven't really changed, but they've changed more than you realized, or you just don't see the full picture yet. Um, and so I was kind of like, okay, I've been paying all this money to learn how to manifest, to learn how to build a business, to slim my body down. It's kind of like, why do I still feel like I have dreams deferred? Um, and I feel like I'm in so deep that I don't even like there's nowhere for me to turn around and go back to. The only way for me to go is forward. And I just have to figure out which direction am I going to go forward in. And so I was kind of like, what the hell am I doing? I'm like I've positioned myself as somebody who teaches spirituality. Um, I see the people. So I'm gonna say this because I have to say things like this or think things like this in order to keep me from feeling like I suck at everything I do. But honestly, I look at the ladies who are in my one-to-one coaching in particular because I know their lives the best. And what I have noticed, and I will let them speak for themselves, but what I have noticed with my long-term coachees is number one, they all make more money. Every last one finds more money, just laying around the house that they didn't know was there. But the majority of them just literally get more money from their jobs, um, or um, they are sad and depressed, and it's just no longer the way that they live. They absolutely are happier. They're so much more content in their lives. Um, so I have to kind of look at things like that to realize I'm teaching them the same thing everybody's teaching me. And honestly, I'm like, well, when I look at my life, I'm not doing too badly. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, and I need to just keep seeing what's working and drill down in that. And so, I stick with the head blessing. I stick with astrology. I stick with honoring my ancestors. When I don't do those things, I feel worse. It's just how it is. And so I just feel like all I need to do is just keep taking one little step at a time. And one day it's just going to be this one congealing. But then I say, well, what if I have made it to where I want to be and I just don't recognize it because I'm so busy thinking things haven't gone well. And so, yeah. Um, For me, it's all about, okay, I'm gonna have these moments where I doubt, I wonder, I question, I get pissed off, but then I'm like, well, what the hell am I gonna do? I I can't. There's no way. I've taken the red pill. There's no going back into the matrix. Not the one I had before. I can't do it. I don't feel right if I don't do things where it's attached to meaning, it's attached to evolution, it's attached to success. It's just who I am. And so, I just find that the questioning might just be, well, this is just a place where I need to. Maybe I haven't done everything that I thought I could do. I haven't done everything I thought I could do with business. And there is still this part of me that pulls back on success. And so I question it, but it's like, well, when I really look at me and what I'm doing, part of the reason I'm questioning it is because I haven't bought into everything that, I said I was going to do, like with my business. Sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I'm not selling much," and it just feels like nothing's working. And then it's kind of like, "Well, what did you do?" Well, I didn't go live, and I didn't send my email, and I didn't create any offers that people could actually work with me. Okay. Okay, thank you. How about you go do that, Tyra? um, and I think too, I'll just tie it up with this, Sharmika. The other thing that I'm finding is the older I get, it's really about having gratitude. The more I have gratitude, the more I realize the things that are making me question everything um, is because I am not taking time to take stock of my life. I'm not taking time to look at my wins. And maybe I'm not stopping enough to see that the universe is asking me to go to the right. Because there's like relationships that I've released and let go of just because it's kind of like, well, I wish it was still time for it, but it's just not. And it's just time for me to move on. Sometimes we're in relationships and we're questioning the relationship. Well, maybe you're questioning the relationship because it's time to end the relationship. And it doesn't mean it wasn't supposed to happen. It's time for it to be over. Great question. They are. They understand far more than we acknowledge. Yes, children. Yes. Good, Ocean Kimmy. Seeking a middle path perspective on traditional linear Western book learning versus a more organic indigenous approach to training mastery. Yes. Oh, hey, Jasmine. I know y'all are like, ooh, it takes her forever to get to these comments. This is good. I have a new, because I just was talking about relationship. I have a new perspective on a couple of my friendships, and I see in how I see myself. I'm so different than I was before. So I have to move differently. So I'm in alignment with my trip today. 100. Ocean Kimmy, 100. Hmm. It really is. And I'm not an endocrine health expert except for on myself, but I will tell all women, stop choosing the food you eat based on what they say is good to eat. You need to choose the food you eat based on what your body is saying. I'm actually creating a um a weight adjustment program. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call it, but it is definitely about weight adjustment. I got to say things so that people know what I'm talking about. But I made a recording the other day where I talked about how you have to sometimes let's go back to talking about our babies. Come on, Debbie, we're going to talk about babies because Debbie's breastfeeding or nursing her baby at the boob. Um, when we nurse our babies, the milk changes. In the morning, it might be one way, in the afternoon, a different way. I don't exactly know, other than it's just, you know, the subconscious minds of the mama and the babies are so immersed and so enmeshed. I don't know how the intelligence of the mama's body knows how to shift for that baby, but the milk changes. You can, even if you pump it out, it will look different sometimes. And it's all based on the baby's needs. Well, that does not change. So today, I might be able to eat fill in the blank. Let's say red apples. Today, I might be able to eat red apples. Tomorrow, my body might be like, we don't need red apples today. But unless you test it, you will not know. And so you have to tune into your body to find out what does your body want to eat. And this is one of the places where I was certain this way of eating is the best way. Going back, like looping it back to our topic today. I had given meaning to certain ways of eating. This is like the best way to eat. It is the supreme way to eat. It is, like everyone should eat this way. All of us have seen those kind of people. I was once that person until my health got effed up, right? And so then, um, at some point, I began to realize, wait a minute, eating in particular ways, this is killing me. This is killing me. And it wasn't until I started going through perimenopause and in complete desperation, feeling horrible day after day after day, and learning about these hormones. And again, it is not just estrogen and progesterone. It is, for me, the number one hormone that I got sold on to, I got to watch this, is insulin. I began to realize insulin is effing up my whole life. So then I began to realize, what can I do to keep insulin low? That's how I started choosing the food that I ate. To this day, I have to choose foods that keep my insulin low. But see, I'll never say I'm no carbs. I don't believe in carbs. I eat the amount of carbs that I need to eat based on what my body needs. When I eat carbs and my body is not saying, hey, we need carbs, I do see a change in my weight because my body is sensitive. It's almost like I'm allergic to carbs. I'm allergic to too many carbs. Um, and and so, but I had to test it. I had to figure that out, right? And it's all based on insulin. It's like now, if I eat something super sweet in the past, ooh, I would love whatever that feeling is that those of us who love sugar and like get high off of sugar, I would love it. But now when I eat too much sugar, it feels like painful. And I'm like, oh, okay. I knew that was super sweet. My mind, there's a part of me that's still kind of like, yes, I love sugar. Let's get some sugar. It's like so good. Oh, so sugar. Like I was telling my husband, this is the holiday cheer. Bring on all the holiday cheer. I love all of this holiday cheer. Coca-Cola cake especially. And it's like, oh, we just love mom's Coca-Cola cake recipe. It was just like the best. This is my mother-in-law. And uh M ooh, if I eat it at the wrong time, oh my gosh, and this is how I got sold on to, um, apple cider vinegar, because I began to realize if I drink apple cider vinegar, it helps. It's almost like a natural insulin. I don't quote me on it, go learn about it, because like I said, this is not my forte. I understand it for me, but I can't teach it to y'all because I have not studied it enough to be sharing with everybody, but I began to realize, okay, drink apple cider vinegar. Doesn't matter what I eat because anything produces insulin. But especially if I eat something like, my mother-in-law's Coca-Cola cake recipe, I'm going to drink that insulin because it helps like with this natural insulin control. But I just began to realize, live according to hormones. My hormones tell me what to eat. They tell me when I need more sleep. They tell me everything. I really do think hormones are connected to our intuition. Don't quote me on that. Does somebody know? I don't know. Oh no. Oh, hey, Queen Fallon, welcome. I need to change my perspective and know that things can be unsettling, but work out better than expected. Okay, you and somebody else made me think about this, Larissa. So, um, there is a story, and I remember hearing about it. I want to say it's out of, I don't know, some Asian culture. And it's the story of this, maybe like a farmer. And it's like this farmer has a series of things that happen, and people will come and say, oh, aren't you happy that this happened? And the farmer's like, I don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not good. It's like, the farmer got a horse, and they're like, oh, you're so fortunate to have a horse. And that, aren't you happy? Maybe it's good, maybe it's not good. Or, um, oh, maybe, the farmer's horse, I mean, the farmer's son was riding the horse and got thrown off the horse, and so the people came back like, "Oh, this is so bad. Aren't you so sad?" And the farmer's like, "Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know. I'm just neutral." And then the next day, the military came through to recruit the farmer's son to go into war, and the son couldn't go into war because the son was hurt. And the people were like, "Oh, aren't you happy? Isn't this good? Isn't it bad?" And the farmer was like, "I don't know. Maybe it is good. Maybe it isn't." That's how I'm learning to see things. That's one of my 2022 lessons. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. How about I just focus on what I can do. And I have now one thing 2022 gave me is, well, 2020 to 2022. Universe got it. It's an infinite wisdom that's in play that does things that I don't get. Because guess what? It is way more expensive than my conscious mind is. So I'm just gonna trust. If I'm called to do something, I'll do it. If things look like it's an, you know, S show, then I just need to decipher, is there anything for me to do? But the best thing I can do is just be like, okay, yeah, not what I signed up for, but maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know. Maybe I need time to pass by a little bit and let me see. Something that looks bad could be something that was actually a blessing in disguise. It makes me feel so much more at peace. Thank you for bringing this up, y'all, because I needed this. Ah. Yes, that is correct. Oh, happy birthday. Happy early birthday, Jasmine. Oh, you having a new moon birthday. Huh? Okay. Jasmine, get ready. I can't wait. Next year, this time, Jasmine's going to be in a whole new world, whole new place. Keep us posted. Yes, it is. It is, Miss Matthews. Uh, I agree. Yes, happy solar return to Jasmine. Yes. Yes, I will say this is a very good point, Jasmine. Where that outer planet is the house that it's in is very important. It tells more. Like, doesn't matter, what the house is. Pluto, wherever in your chart, no matter the sign, the house will kind of speak to the importance of it. So, if you have Pluto in your first house, then there's going to be a lot of, I mean, you're deep, you're profound, and you might experience a lot of that transformative energy of Pluto in your life. And you will have, if it's something that's going on in your first house, it will be a very big deal. Good morning. I'm learning that things change and nothing lasts forever. It is something I used to be afraid of. Yeah, see? Because of fear of the unknown. It's okay to let things go, and I don't have to hold on to everything. We used to think one thing, now we think something differently. Yes. Mhm. Hip hop. That is a good point. I never even thought about that. Wow. Mhm. Yes, Miss Matthews has made a lot of good comments about Pluto. Good for you. Mhm. Let me tell you, the reason you don't hear people saying that they question E5 is because they packed up their pots, they packed up all their implements and took them and gave them back to their babas or their ears. That's why you don't hear people talking about they questioning it. Yeah, I need to get on that. Baba has been asking to meet with y'all. Ocean Kimmy. I need to make that happen. Ah. Ifa, the way it's packaged up is very Western. And even the ones in Africa sometimes have it kind of packaged up a little bit Western. But essentially, it's just being connected with it's about wholeness. It's about harmony with the universe. It's really very simple, but it can be deep, you know. Hey Deborah, how are you, Queen? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shoot. Girl, please. I will tell people more the more like some of the people who do some of the one-to-one with me, if we get into conversations, I'll tell you everything. Um, yeah, I'll be honest because then when it happens to you, you won't think something's wrong. It's a truth. It's true. Exactly. Yes. Uh, yes. Oh, you're type 2 diabetic. Yeah, for sure. We have to be cautious with the carbs. Yeah. The body is ever changing. And see, if we believe, oh, I just eat this way and this is how it works and blah, blah, blah. And then we tune into what all the health people are saying, do this, do that. Yeah. I remember uh this is around the time I was 48, 49. I started doing bar. And then there was this other exercise I started doing. It's called eccentrics. And I lost more weight doing bar and eccentrics and was just like, wow. Uh yeah. Bye cardio. I still need a little cardio, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Mhm. Yes. Oh my gosh, that is such a good way of that was beautifully put. Mhm. ACV is the truth. Apple cider vinegar, the truth. Yeah, I really do think they are. I don't know why I think that, but I do. Ah, okay. What is misfortune? A Taoist tale. Okay, good. Felicia heard it too. Yeah, y'all look that up and live with that. Take that in. Take that in. Mhm. Mhm. Yep, that's true. That is very true. Okay. Yes. Uh, breasting. I find it so interesting. I have not found that to be my truth, but I know women whose boobs get bigger as they get older. I find that to be very, very fascinating. I've never had to look into it because that's not okay. That's not me. But I've seen it. I'm like really, really fascinated by that. Yeah, apple cider vinegar is it's like a miracle substance. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna say it because I just want to help folks. All this, and if I bump up against your belief, you can dismiss what I'm saying right now because I'm not gonna argue with nobody over this. But alkaline water, I that almost killed me. Being into this alkaline water movement, I'm not opposed to drinking alkaline water, but I'm not only gonna drink alkaline water because what I ended up finding out was part of my digestive issues was because I didn't have enough acid in my stomach, and that's really partially how really got into apple cider vinegar was because as we get older, our digestive system changes, and I just didn't have enough acid to break down my food. I was like, why does it feel like food just sits down at the bottom of my belly? Finally, I was like, "Forget it." Now I would purify my water, don't get me wrong. I like water purification, and I'm not opposed to alkaline water. I think it has its place. But for me to be only drinking alkaline water, forget about it. Good point. Yeah. Check with your doctor. No matter what I'm saying, no matter what I'm saying. I'm not a medical person, nothing. So yeah, you test it. Ah, thank you for saying this. Since stopping and using apple cider vinegar has reduced and ended my pain and my gallbladder. Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So the only meaning that something has is the meaning that you give it. You live a life of choices that you have attached meaning to. That's it. That's the only thing I want y'all to really take away from today is that you believe what you believe because you have attached meaning to something. I do think that there are universal truths, um, but even how we see these universal truths, it's all meaning. Some people see them through religion, some people see them through philosophy, some people see them through it's just kind of like rules for living. But actually, you know, what is true, really? It's just whatever you decide is true for you. And that's a very, very powerful thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm focused on today. Um, I am going to let me pull a little card for y'all. I'm gonna pull from this Healing Not Broken deck. I just love this deck so much. Um, Again, I have the retreat to reset happening this Thursday. It's not the 21st. I switched the date to Thursday so the sisters could make it. It's this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Going into the cave of creation. We're gonna talk about Aquarius. I hope y'all join me. Let's see here. What are we gonna end with? It says breathe. This is what I want y'all to take with you all for the rest of the week. Breathe. I can take this down. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale love and light. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly. Repeat. Inhale love and light. Exhale slowly. Inhale love and light. Exhale slowly. Whenever you feel yourself caught up in what I say is right, what I say is law, just take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale love and light. Exhale slowly. One thing that I love is in NLP, we always say we honor other people's models of reality. So I don't argue with nobody about how they see the world because I honor other people's models of reality because I realize the only meaning that something has is the meaning that we give it. All right, Queens, thank y'all so much for being here. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love lemons, and I just take them because I think they're really good for the liver. But I really don't know. Okay, I'll look for that email, Mrs. Matthews. Mythic Medicine Podcast. Mythic Medicine Podcast. Thank you for that, Courtney. Yes, I love spring water. I do actually, I love spring water too. Yes, see you at the retreat, G Hive. Thank y'all so much for being here. And yeah, remember, inhale light and love, exhale slowly. And the only meaning that something has is the meaning that you give it. What meaning will bring you the most peace? What meaning will bring you the most prosperity? What meaning will help you most align with your destiny? All right. All right. Thank y'all so much for being here. I will see y'all on the next video. All right. Peace.